Hello, my beautiful, divine, exquisite, powerful everyday women of the world. Welcome to the Startup Stories podcast, where the ambitious everyday woman is heard, held, and served in life and in business. I'm your host, Mia Frankel of Powerful Inc., the everyday woman's coach for living a peaceful and productive life. Yes, it's possible because I'm living it, y'all. You'll hear relatable stories to keep you sane, grounded, and growing as you expand yourself and deliver your purpose to the world. And today, I'm going to show you how possible it is to truly live in your calling and create impact every day, no matter your circumstances. And I'm going to be so bold and guarantee this because I have Aleksandra Plazinic with me, who has a PhD in the things that we seek. It would take the whole show to go over her portfolio, but I will honor it, and she can add or edit as she chooses thereafter. But you guys really need to go to her website, aplazinic.com, and I'll drop it in the show notes and take a look at what this woman has achieved. And I'm not even going to say achieved. Take a look at who this woman has decided to become. Right, Aleksandra? Like, this wasn't some professional corporate checklist. These were
Mhm.
conscious places of service and value that you were seeking. So, where can we even begin? It's so beautiful. She's an executive communications coach. She's a keynote speaker, a university lecturer, and has her PhD in communications, has two master's degrees, is certified in NLP, and has worked in places that I've only dreamed of, and particularly Alexandra, when I was in university, like United Nations and things like that, where, they were the epitome of what would have been a beautiful career. Life took a different path, and that's fine. But she holds, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus different certifications. What a beautiful investment in yourself and in your work. She's worked at United Nations, European Commission, USA Embassy, Global Woman Club, like it goes on. There's over 20 places listed on here. But what's really gorgeous about all of this is how Aleksandra uses it to pour into women and to pour into corporate women with these more holistic skills of NLP, emotional healing, and turning them into practical tools to take with them into the workplace and in their lives, like enhancing their presentation skills and increasing their confidence when they're ready to take the stage. So, I mean, I could go on about you all day, but really, I want you to talk. I want our audience to hear from you. And I just am so thrilled to dive into this juicy conversation we're going to have today.
Thank you so much, Mia. Thank you so much for having me on this show and as well going through all my CV and profile. And sometimes as well I forget,
Oh my gosh.
because I've been as well through many educations, many personal development as well, trainings, coaching, certifications. It's nice to reflect as well. So thank you so much for that.
Well, you know what impresses me about that is not the number of them or even what they are, is like I said earlier, the choice that you made to become that woman. So let's hear about you and who you were. Like, where did this seed get planted?
Wow. Well, I guess many years ago, but the turning point for me when it comes to personal development and as well taking more path into the coaching and as well working on myself, right, as part of it, was when I finished my second master's studies. And that was as well at the cross point, right? What should I do next? Where should I go as well? Because I did my second master's in international relations. So that was a little bit different than what I did before. And then what I do with my career. But at the same time, I felt that I had to work on myself to as well boost my self-confidence as well, to own my achievements as well, even though I was passing through
Yeah.
them, right, the whole
Look
my
good on
life as
paper,
well.
but you have to embody it,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where actually this process started. And then afterwards, when I finished my PhD and having the professional experience, especially the international one, then I've seen as well many women well being as well similar as I did, right? That they had all these achievements and they've been really great professionals. And I was always in a way very disappointed or very amazed that they didn't really have the confidence to really show it, or they were very insecure in themselves. And I couldn't really believe it because I always seen them as this very successful women, right, who had it all.
Mhm.
And then I start to dig a little bit deeper into that, and of course into myself as
Yeah.
well. And I saw as well many similarities in that sense. And today I work with women, yes, who want to have their really present executive presence and boost their professional skills, so presentation skills, but as well overcome the fear,
Mhm.
and exactly the fear of public speaking
Mhm.
that goes beyond actually public speaking.
Yeah.
And that's why I would love to talk about it, because it is really ultimate work on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we can achieve anything we set our mind to,
Mm,
but what more can we achieve if we bring our soul into it, our
mm,
identity into the fold, and really believe it's more than a performance or a paper achievement. So
mm,
what have you noticed about the limiting beliefs that women will hold even though they've achieved ABC? Why are they pursuing this and yet
mm,
not, holding themselves into the power that comes with it?
mm. So let's say we will always thought, right? The more achievement you get
Mhm.
more self-confidence, right? So you
Okay.
achieve one goal, or
Yeah.
you achieve one education or accomplishment work, and then you become self-confident, right? The problem is, like, most of my clients, they're overachievers, and they're very successful, very serious, right, women about their progress. But as well, it comes with a great as well responsibility. And then this is as well something that is holding back, and sometimes it does not work. So I was there as well. I was achieving, okay, being a great student, being a yes, great pupil,
Yeah.
back in the days, achieving this certificate, that. And then at one point you're not feeling it, so because you're not aligned as well with your achievements, right? It's
Mhm.
sometimes I felt as well this, that all of this what I accomplished, that is kind of outside of me. So as you said it amazingly, that I didn't embody it.
Yeah.
So when somebody would have said, right, doctor or PhD, it's like, oh, is it me? Oh, right, it is actually. I have that, but
Yeah.
still, it felt like it was not part who I am. And I've seen this with a lot of women, right? So they achieve one milestone on the other, but they never align themselves with the achievements, so they don't become part of their identity. It's just part of as well activities, something that they should do, they should check as
Mhm.
well, something that is expected maybe from their families, from their upbringing.
Mhm.
And what we as well at the same time expect, that these achievements will just automatically give us the self-confidence.
Yeah.
And when it does not work, then you feel a little bit lost, so you don't know what to do, right? So you've done everything, you followed the rules, you've done everything by the blue book, right? You
Great.
checked everything, and you're not getting the reward that we expected.
So, what I'm hearing in this, and I really want you listeners to pause for a sec, and because Alexandra has worked globally, so this isn't like a North American culture thing. I'm in Canada, in the Pacific Northwest.
Mm,
It's not like the North American hustle culture. This is, a pattern throughout high achievers. So, this is more like psychology and human behavior rather than circle of influence from where we live. So that's really important because that normalizes the experience and connects us to a broader demographic than we might be connected to.
mm,
The other thing is, especially as a startup, we feel like we're not qualified enough, right? We're not, I just need to do this one thing. I just need to have the perfect web page. I just need to have the perfect offer, whatever it is, the perfect version of me that then is worthy to receive. And what I'm hearing you say is that we're chasing ourselves. We're
Mm.
chasing ourselves, and here it comes, guys, into an empty room only to look around and see that, we didn't invest in that deeper integration to come along. So I like fitness analogies. And in this case, it's like maybe you were doing reps, but you didn't lift the weights, like you didn't have weights in your hand to develop the muscle alongside it,
Mm.
right? And that's where we want to put these things together. And so how how do women start to develop this awareness or become desiring of change? Like they come to you seeking help, or you raising awareness and, trying to reach out to them, a mixture of both?
Mhm. So it is a mixture of both, right? But once they become aware that they're stuck or they cannot really solve this fear of public speaking, so this can be usually a symptom, right? So
Hmm.
they cannot show up at their professional place as they wanted to, even though they're at some positions, right? They're managers, they're executives,
Hmm.
still. So they have not like overcame that. So we work usually when it comes, it's this imposter syndrome, right? That I love what you said, that we suffer globally, because I as well work from women from Europe, from North America to India to South Africa, as well
Yeah.
coming from well, all over Europe. So it's very embedded in a lot of cultures, and it's very embedded, I feel like, more into women than to men
Okay.
as well. Men tend to as well to overcome it, let's say, more easily, or it's not a very prominent topic for them. But for
Hmm.
women, it definitely is. So what we start first to do is we have to become aware, right, of who we are. So we have to really become aware what we have accomplished, what we have done in our lives, what struggles as well have we overcome. So it's not just I like to make the lists of all of accomplishments of everything that we have done amazingly in our lives, and that helps a lot, because at one point we have to stop, right? And we have to really acknowledge who we are and how far have we become.
Hmm.
And the second step is that you have to be aware of your, as well, the negative experiences that you have overcame, because this is as well as something that bolsters our self-confidence.
Right.
So a lot of women that I work with, they finally have to stop and see, they came from, let's say, a very small country or a very modest background,
Hmm.
and they were the ones who achieved to go to another country, or maybe to learn 1, 2 foreign languages,
Hmm.
to really work for international companies like people from Microsoft, Google, to
Yeah.
even come there, right? To even
Yeah.
pass the selection and work for that kind of a company. And that was a struggle, right, for them. And then when we overcome our struggle as well, we lift our self-confidence. But we have to be aware of that, because at one point you just get used to it, right? You think it's part of life, it's that you have to do it, right? And but that is the true connection, so that we become aware of what we did very well in our lives, and what we have done to overcome any difficulties.
Yeah.
And once they look at their list, or once they become aware of it, then the change begins. It's not automatic as
Hmm.
well. So I
Hmm.
know first time I've done it as well, I was literally in sweat,
Yeah.
because I was so as well disconnected, right, with
Right.
everything, all my activities and who I am. And I was literally in sweat. I couldn't even say, oh yes, I won that scholarship, or oh yeah, I've done this. But it was so hard, right, um to say it, because in my culture it's a lot of to do with bragging, right? So when we talk a lot of ourselves, so it's like we are bragging, and
Right.
sometimes when we're bragging, that means it's not true, right? And people who are genuine, right, they're not supposed to brag. They should just like be very very modest about it, not even mention it. So once
So,
I recognize that, and I see, yes, I see a lot of women do that. Like, oh, I don't want to be this obnoxious person that
mhm,
tells, like, oh yeah, I've done that. I went to this school, I've done that. And sometimes we actually mix that. That is the self confidence, right? If we're bragging, or if we're being loud, or if
mhm,
we're, yeah, let's say overselling ourselves, which
yeah.
is not rooted in the substance.
This is like another element where that differentiates men and women as well. Men are just like unabashedly confident
Mm.
and take pride. And women are like, oh, yeah, it's not a big deal. I just stopped the rocket from destroying Earth. Like it's not anybody could have done it.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
no, that's super badass move. So listening brings up an example that I experienced in my workplace yesterday. And I'd love to hear an example where you noticed your embodied, I'll share mine and then maybe you can think of one while
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking. This embodied state of, you guys, it felt like self-appreciation. I was like, wow, look at me. Look at me handling this situation. Like, good job. And that I was aware of my body's sensations, my nervous system reaction to it, which meant for me, my heart rate didn't increase. I wasn't getting the sweats. I wasn't like stuttering. I wasn't completely calm. I had a little bit of nerves, and I'll set the scene here in a moment.
Mhm.
But I just felt proud. I felt like I was standing on my 10 plus years of experience in my industry and holding my ground very professionally and like like I just knew what I was doing, like I just like
Mm.
washing your hands. You just don't even have to think about it, right? So, Alexandra, you don't know this about me, but my day-to-day job is dealing with conflict. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of
Okay,
there's
fun.
yeah, people complaining about each other and me
Mm.
having to investigate and determine if there are local laws, local government laws, but if there's violations or not. And the laws can be very complicated at times around land use and specific, zones of land and what's permitted and not. And so this was the case yesterday on a commercial property, industrial zone. And the manager of the business was on the defense from the get-go, and we had been corresponding in email. And then I'd scheduled a site visit, and I brought another staff member with me who had professional expertise that I don't have yet, and also just to
Mhm.
have like a witness to the event. So, you guys, the manager is there and he's on the defense. Like he is uncomfortable with this situation. And he brought a lawyer. And so
Mm.
he didn't tell me. So then I'm like, hi, so and so. And then the guy's like, I'm a lawyer from such and such firm. And I'm like, great. Okay. Like, click. Okay. And instead of being intimidated,
Mhm.
instead of being thrown off, I stepped into it. And I was just like, okay. And it was a mental note to be careful, more careful about the words I say and manage the situation with even more
Mm.
decorum. And I tend to play a little bit of a Columbo detective role just to keep
Mhm.
it um, to provide a sense of safety to the people because like I know this fellow, I knew, okay, he lawyered up, he's very defensive. So in order to have a
Mhm.
successful site visit, these are the tactics I'm going to use. And you guys, by the end, he had calmed down. I could see his whole disposition had changed. And the lawyer, like
Mhm.
this was the takeaway for me, that embodiment of sense of pride in self and appreciation. I handled that really well. Like, wow, did I handle that well?
Amazing.
I'm really happy.
Mm.
And my staff that came with me is a really big, tall guy. Like I'm a tall woman. I have presence. This other fellow is he has a lot of presence. He barely even spoke the whole time. So it's me and three men doing this inspection, right? So you talk about having to stand on that. And that comes with practice and where you're going to take us into the basically the second half of the conversation, anchoring that in and making
Mm.
those elements more part of our identity. Because, like, I've been in the self development world for oh gosh,
Mm.
20 years probably since I first met Tony Robbins, right? And started
Mm-hmm.
drinking the Kool-Aid
Wow.
willingly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those outcomes, one of those
Mm-hmm.
outcomes of really bringing it all together. So I don't know if you have like a similar example or story, even maybe from a client that can, you know, illustrate this
Mm-hmm.
shift in how we perceive our identity rather than always chasing it.
Exactly. I think you explained it very well because women think that we should act as men, that we should be
Mhm.
loud, we should be as well then intimidating, right? To
Yeah,
the
thank
others
you.
and to
Yeah.
take this kind of roles. But the fact is, you don't have to, especially if that's not part of who you are, that's not part of your
Mhm.
personality. But what you said, because you acted, and this is the outcome, right, of the personal development that you did, because exactly you have it in your core, and this is what is most important. You embodied all of it, it's part of who you are, and you don't have to prove anything, right, to anybody. You don't have to demonstrate this power, right? You just go with all of it that it's inside of you,
Mhm.
and this is the outcome, right? We're here to do the job, and it's not even, let's say, a topic, or it's not even a team, right? There are three guys. Oh, this guy brought this is intimidating. No, it's just because you know who you are, what do you bring into the table, and you focus exactly on what needs to be handled. And that is whether it's a public speaking right event, whether you have to handle the conflict or do some business. And because your as well, your body, your emotions, and your mind, what are you thinking, the core that resonates. So that is as well what can be felt, because people as well who feel intimidating by the others, but who did not really embody that, then they would be acting differently, right? They would be thinking about themselves differently. Would say, oh, okay, I'm not sure, like these are three guys, I'm the only woman, what should I do?
Yeah,
Should I please them? Or saying, oh
yeah,
my god, I'm just now put in the spot. It's
yeah,
not really, because I had that as well
yeah.
for my clients. Once they were put in a spot, their mind goes right spiral. They have
Mhm.
as well the sensations of fear, right?
Yeah.
With their
Survival
heart
mode starts
rate.
to flight starts to kick in, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then with their bodies, what we do as women, we become smaller. We're like, hi,
Right.
yes, can we
Right.
handle? So no, it's like when you stand the way, you don't have to change your body. What it helps, of course, if you're about to go into this mode, shrinking yourself, so you can just roll
Right.
your arms and your
Mhm.
shoulders, and just stand as well with your feet well grounded. So
Mhm.
that helps you as well, bringing back your ground. I do have an example of a client. So she was working for an NGO, and every time she was put on a spot by her manager, and she felt all of the sensations that we just mentioned.
Mhm.
So we did as well the exercising, and she was working on themselves. And then I told her, okay, next time you can as well, of course, try to work with your body,
Mhm.
your mind, and your emotions.
Yes.
And this is exactly what happened to her. So she was again put in the same situation. And she was like, I was about as well to do the thing that I do, right? To feel,
Right.
oh, okay, I don't know what to do. I will make the mistake. But then she started to think differently, right? So she started to improve, to actually practice what we talked about. So she was like, okay, I feel confident. I got this. I can handle this. It's not a big deal.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the more you give affirmations to your mind, then your mind goes into a positive spiral. She was
Yes.
like, okay, actually, it's not that bad. And she as well noticed her nervous system starting to calm down, and a little bit with the help of the body. And she really handled this. So she was like, okay, she wanted to try it as a more of as a fun exercise to see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Because she
Yeah.
knew the outcome like of the previous ones. And this is, for instance, helped her very much on the spot, right? Not to go into the same mode.
This is another practice I've gone through because I'm in a blended family, so I'm a stepmom, and like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, you guys, that was I have that I had, I'm not gonna prescribe to that story anymore, but a huge
Mm-hmm.
insecurity wound. And I would get triggered every time, the three of us would be together, like the acts in that. And um my whole body would react. But with practice, it takes time to integrate, like it takes time to build muscle. And what's really
Mm,
great is the mind can get ahead of the body and then
mm,
help the body catch up in the situation. So, like, there's, for example, control or placebo environment, and then the actual environment. And so, in the example
mm,
you gave, let's call her Sally,
mhm,
her boss is calling her, so she's like, oh, trigger, okay, here we go, this is when I start to freak out. So
mm,
I'm aware of what I do now. I've been practicing this moment and it's here, and so I'm going to better support myself in doing
mhm.
it. So, to the listeners,
Exactly.
if you're about to
Mhm,
have a sales call or go live or put yourself out there and you're scared, well, you already know that you're going to be. So now work backwards
mhm.
to bring the scared you up to the you that's ready to show off your beautiful, powerful self and skills.
Exactly. Yes. Once we know as well with the fear, when does it show up?
Yes.
So it's like a thief, then we know exactly
Yeah.
when it's coming
Yeah.
to rob us. We're
Yeah.
gonna stop it at one point, right?
Yeah.
So is it coming like, okay, when you start to speak or when your boss asks the question, or maybe as well, I had some of the clients when they see when they see the mic on stage, they start to freak out, or
Right.
okay, their let's say technology is not working, so it's different for everybody, or their boss is there listening to them.
Mhm.
So, but exactly the first step is if you're aware of it, if you can recognize it as well, we know exactly when it shows up, and we can as well prevent it with the tools and techniques, right? So you know exactly what you need to do. Because anyhow, when you think about, especially about the public speaking, you never know what's going to happen. I had
Yeah.
all kinds of as
Yeah.
well things that go wrong, and it's normal. It's a very as well
Of course.
dynamic activity, and you should as well expect that something maybe go off the rails, but as well prepare for the best, but as well prepare for the worst, and then you know exactly how to manage it, right?
Yeah,
Because we
and to
all
manage
have.
yourself, right?
Mhm.
That's
Absolutely,
the
yes.
real
Mhm.
key leadership principle here.
Mhm.
What makes leaders lead is the willingness to um, navigate whatever happens.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and not
Yes,
let
because
it
we all
derail
have
them.
we all have negative emotions, we all have
Hmm.
triggers, right? We all
Hmm.
have the fear. But the more you manage or learn how to manage, and some for some people as well, it was very they didn't know that they can manage emotions, because okay, they appear and then they escalate. No, you can
Hmm.
manage it, right? So
Hmm.
it's not right. For some it was a process, right? But it's possible because as well you hold as well the power of yourself.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's probably you started noticing these patterns and I'm going to assume, got curious about other toolkits that could be brought into the industry for a more holistic picture, right? So
Mm,
collecting some other um, professional designations to support, particularly women, because we do operate differently than men,
mm,
um, and bringing in deeper awareness. And so, how are you feeling about yourself now? Like you're standing on this beautiful portfolio, and are you living in the fulfillment that you were looking for? Do you have ongoing goals for yourself and your coaching
mhm.
portfolio, or where are things at?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So yes, there is always something new to look forward, and that is as well the beauty, right, of the business. Well, I'm about to finish my book, actually editing of my book, so that
Congrats.
should be coming up in February
Yeah.
next year. So
First
it is
one?
about
First book?
yes, the first
Yeah.
one, yeah. Although the
Amazing.
first one was a PhD thesis, but it's
Yeah.
different, right? So
Fair.
this one very, very practical, and I
Yeah.
really want. put everything, all the tools, all the techniques that I know. And as well, a lot of it, of course, comes from the stories of my client, which I'm
Hmm.
very grateful for.
Hmm.
And actually, it is about helping women first to overcome fear of public speaking, as well, boost their self-confidence,
Yeah.
and as well, standing in their core. What are we talking about? Well, for me, it happened as well. It was a process, but I finally write embedded. I feel that I embedded all my achievements, what we talked about, and that really it is in my core, and it is who I am.
Hmm.
And this is as well, I guess, a lot of other activities and accomplishments came afterwards, right? Because for me as well, the changing point was you don't have to prove anything, right, anymore to anybody,
Yeah.
because you know who you are, you know what you bring. Before as well, when I started my public speaking and giving trainings and workshops, I was really craving for the approval.
Hmm.
And it came from my energy. I can go back and see it,
Right.
but it was, I wanted to please my audience,
Yeah.
right? So that means I wanted to prove something, right? That they like me, that I approve, that they can say I'm the expert. So
Hmm.
everything that I was actually craving for. But today, for me, it is about serving. So it
Hmm.
is okay. Maybe some people will like me, the
Yeah.
others not. But it's
Yeah.
about serving, right? So what I give, and I know like what is the value that I can bring, and that means with information, with the tools, with the content, and then I offer it, right, and then you cannot change the other people, so they can as well take it, or they can use it, or
Hmm.
they choose not to, and that is absolutely fine.
I love
So
that, you guys. It's a very powerful, um, I don't know, self-leadership,
mm,
flip the script that not everybody's going to be my number one fan. And I shouldn't have that expectation, right? How many
exactly.
stores do we walk by? How many products do we say no to? How
mm,
many preferences do we have over flavors, colors, places, services,
mm,
right? Coffee or tea,
exactly.
massage or acupuncture, or neither. So it's not
Yes.
personal,
mm,
but there are people who will be your biggest fan, but not everybody has to be your biggest fan. And so being able to stand with rejection, but make it more of a natural attrition, right? And what would
mm.
you do anyway if you presented to 175 women and they all said yes?
Exactly, it would be impossible, right, to take on everything, right? I agree.
But you also
Definitely. I
painted
mean,
a
yes.
beautiful picture of like of who you are now to who you were. So
mm,
that early version of Alexandra, who was seeking approval,
mm,
do you think she could believe the version of you that's in front of us now, that she was
mm.
going to become that?
I think that was the goal. So that was
Right.
something that I definitely wanted. I'm
Yeah.
here. But it was, yes, it was a lot of work. So it is as a path, right? It's a
Yeah.
development, and it matured eventually, right?
Yeah.
With a lot of as well different techniques, different as well mind shifts, right? Energy shifts, personal experiences, professional experiences. So
Hmm.
it's a blend of all of it. For me as well, the ultimate as well work is because I teach at the university, and
Yeah.
of course there are different students, which I love working with, because it's a little bit different when you're as well teaching to the students and to adults. So I
Hmm.
really enjoyed the experience. But we were as well commenting among the faculty that as well we get all kinds of evaluations. So we're on the spectrum,
Hmm.
that we can be the best professors, the most amazing, the most inspirational ones, to very decent, fair, to I had as well the ones that didn't like my course, didn't like my teaching style
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that the female lecturers actually, we get culture evaluations. So
Okay.
both from female and male students. So that means as well, that proves the point that women, let's say, are having as well, they're more scrutinized, they're more as well judged than males. So it's no wonder as well that a lot of women as well feel that. So men in that sense are more likable, more favorable as
Mm,
speakers, and as well as manager, or somebody who is presenting, right, or who's giving the instructions. But
yeah,
as well, in that experience, I learned, yes, so people as well come with very different expectations, needs, desires. Um, you don't know what is going on in someone's life as well at
yeah,
that point, and which is perfectly fine.
yeah. Yeah, because it all comes back to that strong sense of who you are and having an unshakable identity that can
Mm-hmm.
face whatever. And, most of us, if it's raining out, we'll just get a jacket or an umbrella and face the rain.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's putting ourselves out there, we feel deeply vulnerable. And you're helping transform that vulnerability into a softness and a willingness to do it anyway. And that's an
Exactly.
important evolution, right? And that's the words of encouragement to just start and see what could come. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you have the vision, then like Aleksandra did, you have to be willing to, I don't know, fail forward or just experiment until it
As
comes
well.
more and more
Mm-hmm.
into fruition. And then the rewards are
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. I mean, are you living your best life? You're
Yes.
just living the dream. It's everything and more.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. Yes. I love
yeah.
working with my clients. I love as well presenting. I love as well working with a lot of trainings,
Hmm.
workshops, and as well, sometimes you can even see this little epiphanies, see little awareness, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And not to mention the very big shifts that we do as well with the coaching sessions.
Oh, yeah. I
It is
mean,
sometimes it is a process. So some as well, what we've shared as well at the beginning, to list your accomplishments and to
mhm,
be aware of all your struggles that you overcame.
mhm,
Sometimes it's immediate, right? Once you get this awareness, it's very powerful. For some other clients, it was a process first as well. Even when they did it, they felt so fake. They felt it's
right.
not who they are.
Yeah.
They're going to brag. But then as well, what I think it helps is that you look at it from the other perspective. So that you look for a mentor, or maybe you look for a friend or somebody, let's say in school, who could you trust, a teacher, and really think, what would they say about you, or
Mhm,
what would they say when they see what did you come, what did you become, what did you as well accomplish.
right.
So it helps as well to change your perspective, and maybe not to take it too much on ourselves to
Yeah.
have this responsibility, but as well just take the shift from somebody else, and then as well it helps us to see ourselves who we really are, because
So
sometimes we are as well not seeing clearly, right, everything.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And practicing all of that because the mission that you have for your life has got to be greater than your self limits in order for it to come to fruition, right? And in client sessions, the reward makes it all worth it to see a
Yes,
woman step into that and realize that
absolutely.
is the best. It's like it's the whole point, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
anything else. And then you can be very proud of having showed up for
Yeah.
her, because now she can go and be more safe in her identity and in her work. And that's how we're helping each other, which is,
Mm-hmm.
kind of the whole point, being there for each other, being
Exactly.
witness to it, right?
Yes. Yes, and
Yeah,
they can as well feel finally fulfilled,
yeah,
and they can as well able to radiate that
yeah,
and show that their expertise and information, and really as well show their magic, because I think
yeah,
as well the world very much needs it.
yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Wow. I mean, what a rich conversation, Alexandra. That was so fun.
Thank you.
I just am so grateful that you're joining me, you guys. She's in the Netherlands, so she's had a full day and making time for the podcast at the end.
Sure.
It's the start of my day. It's not even quite 7 a.m. for me,
Exactly. Yeah.
and I'm heading into it. But Yeah, it was just so lovely to meet and chat with you. And I
As well.
love what you're doing. And I'm going to say I'm proud of you for, becoming this version and being willing to stick it out. And the last piece I was thinking, you were saying it's different for everybody, right? So
Mm, mm,
there's the journey, say, is similar, but we walk ourselves through it at our own pace and in our own safety.
absolutely.
So that's another normalizing of yourself rather than comparing to somebody else. And with that, and especially with your client experience, you know that it's possible. I'm going to be so bold and say for
Mm.
anyone, right? For anybody to, with the right,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Mm. Exactly. For, as I said, I worked with women all over the world as well. The ones who are just starting their careers, starting their entrepreneurship as well,
hmm
experience, which can
yeah,
be very vulnerable, very insecure, to as well the women who are already having the positions of managers or executives. So even the ones as well
yeah,
thinking just thinking about starting their own business, but they're afraid, right, to step in, to the ones as well who were afraid to show their expertise, even to stand right and present for their companies. So they were reluctant to do that.
yeah,
But it is, and they all had as well different experiences. And that's why we use as well different, similar but different and
yeah,
adjusted, right,
custom to
process,
everyone.
which
Yeah,
is yeah, which is
yeah.
very, very normal. I had one of the clients as well saying, okay, but I made this list and
Mhm.
I think I'm great, but I still don't believe that. I'm not sure if I
Yeah.
will be successful in my business just starting, even though she has a lot of experience, right? She was like, okay, what if it never happens, right?
Mhm.
But then, so the game changer, for instance, for her was we're in the progress, so we're in the
Yeah,
process. Just like put one word, so you're not there yet, right?
yeah,
So sometimes it is a very, very small adjustment and the work for her, because I think we're always in the process, we're always in the progress, right, of doing something.
absolutely.
We're always developing ourselves anyhow.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, beautiful. I could talk to you all day, but I'm going to let you go.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
sharing your wisdom, your journey, and your expertise with us, Alexandra. That was a really beautiful conversation. You guys, I'll
You're
share
most
all her links in the show notes. She's got her website, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Aleksandra Plazinic,
yes.
PhD for some of them, or not. But yeah, I'll put that in there. And please go follow her along because you can see you're very relatable and real. There's no
Thank you.
intimidation to the portfolio. Like I'm just a regular girl here, and we had this gorgeous conversation. It was really wonderful.
Thank you so much, Mia. It's great that I met you. And thank you so much as well for sharing your personal experience as well. It helps a lot. And
Great.
we can as well learn from that.
Yeah. Thanks.